This is Patty Post, your host of the You Persevere podcast. And today I'm going to be talking about rejection and how we can overcome rejection, and we can make it a strength, and we can use it as an opportunity to do something more. So to begin, I'm Patty Post. My background is I have Checkable as my company. I'm the CEO and founder. I founded it in 2019. But before that, I had done work in medical devices. I had done work in clinical research, always in business development. And I worked for UPS for 7 years before then. And I had a lot of rejection. Like, I just feel like rejection is something that I've just sort of been accustomed to. And I would say that it's one of the things that makes me really resilient as an entrepreneur. Because when I've been told no, even like when I think back to when I was a little girl and I was told that I couldn't move to this dance class, I wanted to be in this ballet class where we had a special teacher. And one of the teachers wouldn't let me do it. She let all of these other girls that I danced with go and be with this new teacher, Ted, that was like this big ballet teacher. But then I didn't get to go. So I went around her and I went to her sister, Molly, and I said, I want to go to this dance class. Like, I don't see why I wouldn't. I attend, I'm, in the first or second row of every dance. I'm very committed. Why wouldn't she let me be with the other girls? And so she said, okay. Well, lo and behold, after a few times, my teacher, Michelle, found out, and she addressed me. She's like, why did you go around me? I told you no. And I said, because I didn't like your answer. And that's gotten me in trouble before too. So I'll put that out there, that if there is, that's usually called a gatekeeper. But there are different people of influence that are part of a decision-making process, especially when it comes to business. And there are times that I'll first talk with the CEO, and then I would go and they would tell me who to work with. But then if I didn't get what I wanted out of the person that they told me to work with, I always had that way to get back to the CEO and just sort of maintain that relationship. Because in deals, when you're doing business, you're going to be told no a lot of the time, and there's internal influence. And I think if you are an entrepreneur, you are going to be told, if you've never sold before, let's say that you're an engineer, you can use it in the same situation as when I was a dancer and I wanted to get into a certain class. If you're an engineer and you want a project to go a certain way and someone above you doesn't agree with you, are you just going to stop? Just be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. My idea was dumb. No. If you really believe in that idea and you think that what you can do is going to make a difference, find another way. Find another way around that person. That rejection can make you better because you do get more resilient. You do have perseverance that comes out of you just by way of being told no. So many people are like, oh, I hate rejection. I have this fear of rejection. I don't want people to not like me, or I don't want them to not like my ideas. Then you shouldn't be listening to this podcast, because the podcast name, You Persevere, is specifically for that. You persevere despite being told no, despite rejection, despite judgment, despite people that don't believe in you or your idea. Keep persevering despite your own failure. You're going to learn from all of those things. So one thing that in my career, someone that's been really influential in my life is my brother Joel, and his career has been in ophthalmology in sales. And now he's CEO of the company, and it has really paid off for him. And I saw him, I'm 14 years younger than him. And so I talked about him before in my podcast of how influential he is on me. And when I was at UPS, I knew I wanted to be in medical device sales. And it takes a very special person that wants to get into medical device sales. So any of you that are listening that are in medtech sales, you can totally be a CEO too. I think it just has something that is different from another sales or salesperson. But when I was at UPS, that was certainly foundational for me as well, for a number of reasons. But in the specific case of when I'm talking about rejection and being told no, it took me 62 interviews to get my first yes. I had 2 different companies, medical device companies, where I was the final 2 candidates. And think of all of those rejections over and over and over again. And this was over a course of a year and a half that this happened. And I was working with a couple of recruiters, and interviews don't happen like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like they usually take an 8-week period. That's why it took so long. And then to be in the final 2 twice. So when you get to the final 2, you've already gone on a ride along with a rep. You've already traveled to somewhere for an interview. And people have come to visit you. It's very extensive. You probably went through a personality profile, lots of different things. So I had 2 different times. I like to say that I got to the altar twice, only for the groom to walk away and choose another bride. But I'm so thankful that I got through that opportunity, because all of that set me up for this rejection that I face and have faced since I started Checkable. Because when you go out and you raise money, you are going to have a really, really hard time, because you just have an idea and they're betting 100% on you. And as you look at just life in general, not everyone that you meet likes you. Not everyone that you meet wants to hang out with you. You don't have a really tight relationship with every person in your life, and that's totally okay. And when you go out and you get rejected, you can't internalize it. You have to turn it into persevere. And I think if you see me on social from Patty Post CEO, this is one of the skills that an adaptable entrepreneur needs to have. And that's the ability to be rejected and persevere through that, come out even better. It is not easy to get rejected. You feel bad inside. You feel like you don't know if anyone is going to like what you have to say. As an adaptable entrepreneur, you need to have the skill of bouncing back and persevering after being rejected. Quick, get right back after it. Don't sit and lick your wounds forever. It's a skill. It's a skill that you need to overcome in your mind, and you need to do a lot of mental work. And I've got to say, you've got to do it a healthy way as well. Going and feeling sorry for yourself and going back to your old habits, getting back into that comfort zone is not what's going to allow you to change. What you need to do after being rejected is essentially get back on the saddle. That's like what I see in my mind is you get bucked off the horse. You just need to get right back on, because the longer that you wait to get back on, you're going to be more and more afraid of that horse, because you are going to think about how you got bucked off, how you got rejected. Was it my tone? Was it what I said? Was it how I looked? Oh, my idea is dumb. We have those 2 voices. Like, you always remember, like, the angel on the shoulder, the devil on the shoulder. Well, that devil on the shoulder is going to tell you that you're not good enough, that it was all you. No one's going to like you. Why would you keep trying? Don't do that. So an adaptable entrepreneur is able to flex during that time of rejection and get back after it. So especially in the time of raising funds, you're going to want to keep a really heavy cadence of meetings. And even if you do them back to back to back to back, have a few days where you are doing this and you're able to just keep growing. And you're able to help your pitch as well when you do that. And if you get rejected, put those questions down that you answered and go back and listen to, okay, what was my answer for that? Well, maybe they rejected me because of this. And it's self-awareness. It's okay to be self-aware, but you've got to keep going. And you've got to keep going despite that you're not perfect. There's a lot of perfectionists out there. I want to say even over perfectionists. They're like, oh, it's not ready yet. I can't yet talk to someone. It's only like half baked. Well, pitch the half baked idea. And you know what? You're talking to really, really smart people that see a lot of deals, especially if you're fundraising, and they're going to give you feedback that's like, oh, hey, you know what? I've seen this before. It hasn't worked. Or have you ever thought of this? And then you can apply it. So you're going to be learning. It is an ever-changing thing. So if you're out there, whether you're lobbying internally for your job and you have something that you're trying to bring forward in the company, or if you have your idea and you're trying to raise money, just remember this. Listen to this. Rejection does not mean that you are rejectable. It just means that that person didn't like your idea. There are other ways around it. Can you go around that person? There are other opportunities to speak with someone else. Are there opportunities that you can refine your idea? Did that person give you feedback that, hey, maybe it's not now. Maybe you need to adjust this or that. But don't let it stop you, because as the adaptable entrepreneur, you need to hone in on that feeling of rejection and get yourself better. So that was my motivation for today. And I want you guys to keep going. I'm keeping going. I've had rejection. I've had rejection in the last couple of weeks. A couple of things, just from a personal note. My valuation is too high. Okay, my valuation is too high. That literally means that what I am saying, that the value of my company, the person doesn't agree with. They don't think that it's that. And my investors as well, who have come in on this round, they don't think that they're right either. So I have to deal with that. That is 100% rejection. And here's where I go with my mindset. I sit on it for a second. So first I open up the email, and so I'm sorry for this language, but the first thing that I think in my mind is F you. F you. Like I didn't use the language. I don't want to use the language. I say that because I want to put that person, I want to bring them down. I want, in my mind, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, well, Carrie doesn't think that my valuation is that, well, better. It must not be. No, not at all. I'm going to be like, you know what? Carrie has a difference of opinion with me, and that's okay. So you know what? I'm going to find other people like Patty, like John, like David, like Scott. Yeah, I'm going to find these people that have an opinion like me, believe in what I'm doing, and I'm going to find them. It's not going to just appear. And then I also ask for is there anything else that you can point out? Sometimes I don't do that, and I just move on. Just depends of where I am. But when it comes to rejection, I'm still getting it, and I'll get it a lot now that I'm into selling with what we're doing with the business. You know, there's a lot of opportunity for rejection. I can't let it stop me, or else the people that depend on me, I'm going to let them down. So don't let yourself down. Most importantly, I'd let myself down. Don't let yourself down. Don't let those that depend on you. Don't let them down, and bring your idea to the world and keep persevering despite the rejection. Learn to deal with it. Write it down. Have something different in your head. I know you can do it because I have done it. I'm here to say there's nothing special about me other than I've been rejected a whole bunch. And I know that you can do it just like I did. It just takes some mental work. It takes the bounce back ability. It takes the mindset to persevere. So go and do it. If you want to accomplish it, if you can vision it, then you can do it. So stop feeling bad for yourself. Stop being in your comfort zone. Get outside of that comfort zone and go after the next one really quickly after you get rejected, okay? And get rejected again. Keep on doing it. You know, grow your thick skin. So I invite all of you to follow me, Patty Post CEO, on TikTok as well as on Instagram and LinkedIn. We are building this so we can have an email cadence, and we'll have the LinkedIn community. And right now it's Persevere Podcast if you join that, but that's going to be something more by the end of this year, because I have a goal to be in the top 100 podcasts, and I really think that we can do it. So give us 5 stars. The algorithm loves that. And we're going to keep on talking about entrepreneurship, being an adaptable entrepreneur and what that means. I have some guests that I have thought of that I want to bring on too that have amazing stories. So we'll get some guests in there. You don't always have to hear from me. And check out the Checkable Health podcast. That's our podcast where we're interviewing clinicians, physicians, thought leaders in the health space, so you can manage your healthcare from home. We're empowering you with information so you can manage your healthcare from home, as well as our diagnostics and our telemedicine, which we are launching June 20th. So got lots of stuff happening. So if you follow You Persevere, follow Checkable Health too, because we put a lot of effort into getting you really amazing content. So with that, go out and do the scary, hairy things that make you feel sweaty and give you butterflies in your stomach. And then when they say no, it's okay. Be like, let it run off your back. Okay? Keep on going, because I really want you to persevere in business and in life. I'm Patty Post signing off. Until next time.